Good evening, everyone, or afternoon, I should say. It's 4 o'clock and we'll call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the July 16th North Middlesex Council meeting. This time we'll call it to order. Roll call, everyone's here. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. If there is any, please forward it through to the clerk. Minutes of the previous meetings from June 18th. There's any business arising, errors or omissions? Seeing none, a motion to approve. Councillor Daigle, Councillor Nerda, all in favor? Carried. At this time, we do have a presentation, and I would just open with, on behalf of the municipality of North Middlesex and the local school advisory committee that are all with us, or some are with us. This year marked the first Bog Line Smoke Show, the homegrown event organized by Bog Line Smokers right here in Park Hill. Its debut was great right from the very first year. And my hat's off to Nick, to all of your team, to Will, all of yous. And at this time, I would ask Nick if you come forward and if you'll come to the table and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for the kind words. It means a lot to us. It was actually a humbling experience. I kind of didn't expect the turnout we had. I guess my worry was no one would come. So I was wrong, and that's good. But I guess I want to thank also the municipal staff and council. In a lot of places to put on something like this, the people sitting in this room would be the challenge instead of the help. So that didn't go unnoticed, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. So thanks for that. And thanks to all our sponsors and volunteers. Obviously it's the same thing. Without them, we would have had no show. So we were able to raise some money for the schools. And we worked with the schools directly to make sure that it'll be a direct benefit to the schools and not just absorbed through the school boards. So, many of these checks are made out to the home and schools. So we'll make sure that it gets to the right places.
Nick, how much money did you raise?
So $32,978.
That's amazing.
So yeah. That also exceeds my expectations. So
well, I would think so. I don't think you'd expect that. It's awesome. Great event, a fun event to be at, and just a great event for where you're putting the money and everything else.
Yeah, and we've got some big plans for next year, and we've got lots of learnings, but lots of good things to carry forward as well. So it'll be good.
Thank you. Councillor Irwin, is there anything you'd like to add from the local school advisory?
I mean, all I can say on behalf of the committee is how delighted we were to be part of it. I know several of the members of the committee volunteered that day, and how all local schools, and I've talked to representatives from most of them, are very happy with the event and to see something positive like this happen in the community. So thank you, echoing the mayor's comments, and the committee and the volunteers. And also echoing your comments, our own staff who did exceptional job that day. So thank you all.
Thanks, Bill.
So Nick, are you doing check presentations tonight? I'm asking you. No, I'm asking. This is your show. This is your time here.
Felicia wants a picture.
Oh, great. They are handing out big checks. Yeah. That. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I do want to echo also to the staff that did so much work to help make this happen. Congrats to all of yous to make this work. All right, department reports. We have a few of these tonight. And what we're going to do is we'll stop around 5:30. And we'll stop with the reports wherever they are, because we do have to start in at 6 o'clock with planning. That's a scheduled event, so we will give ourselves a chance to take a break for a few minutes, but so we'll get as far as we can. And our first report is building official and is for the second quarter. And Arnie, I believe we have you online. Welcome, Arnie.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Well, thanks for having me here tonight. I appreciate the early agenda. I would be in person, but I have 3 council meetings tonight in the next 2 hours. So you're the first of 3 of these presentations.
Okay.
So I'm pleased to meet with council today to present the first half of 2025's building permit activity report. It's a great news report for North Middlesex and generally a good news report throughout the county for our 5 partners. Well, our 4 partners plus Middlesex Center. But I'm here tonight to present this report to council. And just to summarize, in the first half this year, we've seen 41 new dwellings created. That's up from 18 in the previous year. So we've gone from 18 new dwellings in 2024's first half to 41 this year. And number of permits is up as well. Construction value is about the same. Takes a couple of nice expensive projects in 2024 to bump up those numbers, but it's been a very good year. So in the report, I offer 3 tables that kind of sort of summarize the different types of permits that we had. Outline the first 2 rows are the big draw. That's the new singles and the new townhouses. We've seen 17 new single houses and 22 new townhouses, primarily due to activity that we're seeing in Ailsa Craig. Again, Ailsa Craig is the heartbeat of our permit activity over the last couple of years, and it's really kept the momentum of the second half of last year. What we're seeing the first half of this year. Other permits generally are still healthy and doing well. Total number of permits this year are up to 87 in comparison to 74 last year in the first half. The final table, actually the second table is a general comparison of what we've seen last year and this year for permit fees and charges and construction value and how they compare to each year. Again, everything generally is up. And the third table is a comparison just so council can see how North Middlesex compares to the other 4 municipalities in our service agreement. Again, North Middlesex is the biggest winner, but overall in our group we've seen 114 new dwellings compared to 69 last year. We did have 2 apartment buildings I'm not including in that last year, but again, we're seeing a nice number increase up to 114 new dwellings across the county from 69 and 150 million in construction value compared to 116 million. So a good percentage increase all in all and a good first half. So that said, I'm open to any questions council could have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Questions from council? Councilor Knellison.
Thank you. Good evening, Arnie. The question I have for you is the additional residential units. I see there's 2 here in North Middlesex. Are you seeing a growth in that area?
Yeah, through the mayor to the councilor, we are seeing a lot of interest right now. We've seen some builders finally looking at building new homes with something roughed in or actually established in a basement. And we are seeing a couple of active applications that our team's looking at even this week where there's interest in like a coach house sort of setup. We've seen a couple of those actually recently. So I expect that this will not so much take off, but it will grow some momentum over the next couple of years. But yeah, there definitely is interest in the community.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Arnie at this time? Seeing no other questions, I think, Councilor Daigle, do you have? Okay, seeing no other questions, I think we just received for information. Moved by Counselor Daigle, seconded by Counselor Irwin. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And thank you, Arnie. It is a good news story.
It is.
Thank
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Our next one, 5.2, is a report from the Director of Fire and Emergency Services and Deputy Chief Scott Jones is with us here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
So whenever you're ready, Scott.
Thanks. So our first report is regarding the expansion of the Lambton Shores Fire Protection Agreement. So this deals with properties located on Center Road that were not originally included in the automatic aid agreement with the Arcona Station in Lambton Shores. So it will expand from 49 households to 11 new households with a total of 15 more properties. It's billing at a rate of $126.64 per household, plus the Ministry of Transportation rate of $570.50 per hour for each apparatus that responds. And that'd be a minimum for the first hour. $15,000 is what the budget increase, or sorry, a $5,000 increase into the budget for a total of $15,000 per year that was approved for the 2025 budget. So it's just expanding on what we've already done. These homes, or households rather, are closer to the Arcona Station than either one of our fire stations.
Okay. Any questions at this time? Councilor Canellison?
Thank you. Chief Jones, my question for you is Center Road. So are you, I'm assuming that you'd be then heading north of where Petty Street meets Center Road?
Through the mayor to the council, yes, sir.
Or Musterville, I guess it is. Was that where you're going?
Yes, sir.
What about Kerwood Road? Is there anything north of Townsend line on Kerwood Road? Any of those properties?
Nothing new. So everything on that area was already included in the previous
So
agreement.
how far down Center Road are we going to the north? How far, what street are we? Glasgow or Elm Tree, or do you know?
Glasgow.
Glasgow, okay. All right, thank you.
Other questions at this time? I think this is needed. Once it got looked at, it just, those houses got added to it just because of the distance once we sort of took into that envelope. So, yeah. So we have a recommendation in front of you. Moved by Councillor Keogh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Hodgins. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And I believe you have one more, Scott. That's the renewal of the Middlesex Center Fire Prevention Service Agreement.
Thank you, sir. Yes, so the second report is just a renewal of the Fire Prevention Service Agreement with Middlesex Center. And this is the agreement, the 3-year agreement that ends or expires in September of 2025. So this is just recommending that we extend that agreement. A modest increase of $3,000 to the budget for this service year, bringing the expected cost to $33,000. And this would be a 3-year agreement. And should funding be provided in the future to do the bring the service within, then the agreement can be terminated within 120 days early notice.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this agreement? Councillor Keogh?
Thank you, Mayor Rob. Deputy Chief Jones, has there been any appetite internally within the North Middlesex Fire Department for anyone to receive the training to do fire inspections in-home, like in-house?
Through the mayor to the council, yes, sir. There's been a few people that were trained in fire prevention, but nobody that's NFPA certified at this time. But training is ongoing.
Any other questions? Seeing no other questions, we have a recommendation in front of us that the mayor and the clerk sign this agreement. Moved by Councillor Daigle, seconded by Councillor Irwin. All in favor? Carried. That's carried. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Our next item is number 5.4, and that is Joanne, the drainage superintendent, on 48/2025 request for proposal results, municipal drain maintenance on 16th concession and Dewar Thompson drains.
Mayor and members of council, in front of you is a report DIO 48/2025 regarding our request for proposal for a municipal drain maintenance on the 16th concession drain and the Dewar Thompson drain. For your information, The maintenance work consists of resloping parts of the open ditch, straightening the open channel, hydroseed and riprap for erosion controls. The RFP was sent to 4 drainage contractors and 4 contractors placed bids. JL Henderson Limited was the lowest bid. The 16th concession drain was $8,180 without HST, and the DeWar Thompson was $21,565 without HST. North Middlesex share of this project was included in the 2025 budget and will be paid for by the municipality, with the remainder billed to the assessed landowners. The proposed motion and staff recommendation is that council receives report DIO 48/2025 regarding the request for proposal results for the municipal drain maintenance on the 16th concession and the DeWar Thompson drains for information.
We have a motion. Counselor Keough, Deputy Mayor Hodgins, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And your second one, I believe you got coming up, and that is notice to request for a drain major improvement for the Brown Rose drain.
In front of you is the report DIO 49/2025 regarding the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown Rose drain. It is located between Petty Street, Argyle Street, and south of Nairn Road area. The landowner is requesting to upgrade to today's drainage coefficient of 1.5 inches in 24 hours. The proposed motion and staff recommendation is that council receives report DIO 49/2025 regarding the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown Rose drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act for information, and that council receives the notice of request for drain major improvement for the Brown Rose drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act, and that council appoints Ardobin Engineering Incorporated as the engineer to the project.
Any questions on this application? Seeing no questions, moved by Counselor Keough, second by Counselor Nerda. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And your third one is a report on notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown drain.
Mayor and members of council, in front of you is report DIO 50/2025 regarding a notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown drain, and it's located in the Nairn Road and Argyle area. The landowner is requesting to upgrade to today's drainage coefficient of 1.5 inches in 24 hours. The proposed motion and staff recommendation is that council receives report DIO 50/2025 regarding the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act for information, and that council received the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Brown drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act, and that council appoints Ardobin Engineering Incorporated as engineer to the project.
Any questions on this one? We have a motion recommendation in front of you, moved by Deputy Mayor Hodgins, seconded by Counselor Daigle. All in favor? Carried. And you have one more, I believe, and that is notice of request for drain major improvement, Mud Creek Drain. And yours again.
Mayor and members of council, in front of you is report DIO 51/2025 regarding the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Mud Creek drain. As noted in the report, the landowner had requested a crossing on the Mud Creek municipal drain. The location is off Creamery Road, south of Mount Carmel Drive. At the October 16th council meeting, I brought a report to council of a notice request for drain minor improvement, which was accepted. Since that time, the engineer has been on site and determined that this request did not meet the criteria for the minor improvement, as the crossing is at the top of the ditch and does not completely cross the drain. Therefore, it requires a major improvement. So the proposed motion and staff recommendation is that council receives report DIO 51/2025 regarding the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Mud Creek drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act for information, and that council receive the notice of request for drain major improvement on the Mud Creek drain according to section 78(1.1) of the Drainage Act.
Thank you. Any questions on this? No questions? We have recommendation in front of us. Counselor Nerda, Counselor Keough, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, Joanna. I think that's it for you. And when's the last time you came to council and you weren't even late leaving work? Yeah. All right, thank you. Our next is 5.8. Sam, that's yours, I believe, and it's a report for the Infrastructure and Operations Department second quarter report.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship, and through you to all the members of council. Before you this evening is report DIO 42/2025 that presents a second quarter update, finance excluded, for the Infrastructure and Operations Division. At the time of completion of this report, as you'll note in the report, some of the key highlights are as follows. For the drainage group, 2023 and most of the 2024, pardon me, billings have been completed, and 2025 construction projects have been awarded. 68 maintenance requests and 31 inquiries are ongoing, which is nearly doubled to what we had this time last year. Maintenance work is ongoing and planning efforts continue alongside all the development projects that we have on the go. As far as the infrastructure portfolio goes, the 2020 asset management plan in conjunction with finance has been completed, and we are working through the 2025 plan currently. Major projects have progressed pretty well. The Park Hill Lagoon is supposed to start up in about the next month or so here. Queen Street and Elsa Craig has been completely completed. We are in the deficiency portion of the project now. Deficiency walkthrough has been completed. The deficiencies have been flagged and provided to the contractor. So notwithstanding anything new coming up, that project is also completed and in the deficiency stage. And the Elsa Craig Water Tower is also fully completed at this point in time. Multiple tenders have closed. There are several pending council awards that will be coming to council tonight through separate reports. And we've launched the grant program for the sump pump. For the development portfolio, in conjunction with, of course, the planning staff in Ashley, we are working on over 10 active subdivision projects and over 40 active planning application projects. So the development portfolio is very busy. And then from a public works perspective, the gravel and calcium programs have been completed. The asphalt project on Sylvan Road is continuing. The road needs study is ongoing. It's about 60% complete, and we're hoping that it's completed in about a month's time and to council in September is the plan. And several equipment purchases have either been made or are underway, with routine maintenance ongoing as well, such as ditching, culverts, mowing, cemeteries, etc. You'll note in the report that obviously finance details have been excluded, and we're planning on doing that reporting through the future finance variance reporting that will come forward. So the recommendation in front of council this evening on this report is that council receives report DIO 42 of 2025 regarding the Infrastructure and Operations Department 2025 Q2 report for information. And between Joanne, Brennan, and myself or Faisal, we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sam. This is a good report. This is good to see what all's going on because there's a lot going on. I'll turn this over to council for questions. No, we're good. It's all in front of us. All right, we need a motion to accept this report. Councillor Daigle, Councillor Nerda, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, your next report is the what is it now? Sorry. The Elsa Craig wastewater treatment plant, the HVAC.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship, and to you and all the members of council. Before you this evening is report DIO 40 of 2025 that informs council of proposed HVAC upgrades at the Elsa Craig wastewater treatment plant and recommends that we enter into contracts with both Air Design Services and Ontario Clean Water Agency to complete this work. You'll note in the report that it mentions that the wastewater treatment plant is our most energy intensive facility that we have in the municipality, with the HVAC system accounting for approximately 43% of the total electricity use of that facility. A review by Aqua and historical energy data, indicate that the plant consumes roughly 3 times the energy of comparable wastewater treatment facilities. And therefore, the recommended project includes HVAC retrofits, control system upgrades, and energy monitoring to fix these issues. So 2 contracts are proposed through this council report. One to hire Air Design Services separately to supply and install all of the equipment. That would be to both the administration and the main building of the wastewater treatment plant, which totals a project cost of $102,539.14, which includes HST. And the other one, which is directly with Aqua for project management services, monitoring, and all the application and grant paperwork and incentive work that they're going to be doing on our behalf, which is at an upset limit of $58,754, including HST. Why I note it as an upset limit is because they are applying to incentive programs for us to the IESO. They have a fee associated with this, but we've agreed with them that obviously whatever we're going to be getting back from IESO is going to be more than what we are paying them to do the work. So we're noting it as an upset limit, and we'll pay them as much as that number goes up until the upset limit we have within it. Only of course, if we make sure we get more than that back in incentives. So that fee is at that $58,754 number. These two numbers combined bring the total project cost to $161,293.14 with anticipated incentives, which we're projecting about $30,000 to get back. This would reduce the net cost overall of the project when it's all said and done to about $131,000. The project is fully funded within the approved 2025 capital budget and supports the municipality's long-term energy and infrastructure goals. Staff also did look into natural gas conversion because the municipality did bring natural gas out there. What we were provided was that to do that would cost at least double, if not more. We would have to retrofit both of the existing buildings to support gas because they currently don't. And then we would either have to retrofit the existing HVAC to support gas or replace it in its entirety because they also don't either. So that is something that staff did look into, and you'll just note in the report there that obviously that is not being recommended just based on the cost. So the recommendations in front of council this evening on this report is that council receives report DIO 40 of 2025 regarding the Elster Craig wastewater treatment plant HVAC upgrades for information, and that council enters a contract with Air Design Services for both the Elster Craig wastewater treatment plant, administration building, and main building for the HVAC upgrades at a cost of $102,539.14, including HST, and that council enters into a contract with Ontario Clean Water Agency for the associated project services for the HVAC upgrades project and an upset limit cost of $58,754, including HST. And I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Sam. Questions on this? Councillor Irwin.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, I'm curious and interested to learn what would be the anticipated difference in our electricity bill once this project is completed.
Go ahead.
Through your worship to the councillor, what we've been told by Aqua is that we should hopefully see roughly a 2/3 decrease from where it's at now. So certainly we'll have to see when the actual bills start to come in, but that's what they're projecting.
Follow up.
Do we have a dollar amount?
Through your worship, again, these are numbers that Aqua has provided me. I believe the most expensive bill we've seen there is roughly around $40,000, pardon me, for an entire month. And again, to bring that down, like they suspect we should be somewhere between the 10 to 15 at the most per month.
It's a big difference. Councillor Canellison.
Thank you. Sam, did I hear you correctly when you mentioned or stated that the municipality had brought natural gas to the plant, but that it's not financially viable to change over to natural gas because of the cost of the transforming all the components within the plant? Did I hear that correctly?
Go ahead.
Through your worship to the councillor. So the municipality brought gas all the way up to more or less where the main gate is, and then it stops there. So it does not actually connect from the main gate to the building. So you would have to dig up where it sits at around the main gate, then bring it all the way to both of the buildings and then completely internally retrofit both buildings to support gas.
I guess my question is, what I'm curious about is, why were we not told this before we started bringing the gas to the plant or even up the road? Why were we not told that?
Yeah, through your worship, unfortunately, that's not something I can answer.
Yeah.
That's before my time, but I
Yeah.
can certainly look into it.
That,
Somebody
I
can
think,
answer.
I'll just answer that I think, Councillor, we were not given that other option. We never heard anything about this.
Well, that's what I mean. This is all news to us right now today.
This is looking outside the box and finding solutions. I agree with you. So in fairness to current staff, they're finding solutions to it, but they can't answer for what's happened in the past. So any other questions? This is a good report. This is a good deal happening. We have a motion in front of us. Councillor Irwin, Councillor Narda, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. You're going to need water before you're done here. You know that. Our next one you have is for the curb and sidewalk program.
Yeah, thank you, your worship, and to you and all the members of council. Before you this evening is report DIO 43 of 2025 that informs council of the results of the tender process that the Infrastructure and Operations Group conducted for the 2025 curb and sidewalk program and recommends awarding the contract to the preferred bidder noted in the report. As part of the municipality's annual infrastructure renewal efforts, sidewalk inspections were completed in May of 2025, which identified many locations that required full panel or curb replacements due to cracking, settlement, trip hazards, accessibility concerns, etc. Our request for tender, which we numbered RFT I008 of 2025, was publicly issued with a fixed budget of $110,000, including HST. Following evaluations of the submissions, 2618018 Ontario Inc. OA D-Rock Paving is being recommended as the successful proponent, having submitted the highest volume of compliant work within the fixed budget that we set within the RFT. Their submission includes all required work such as concrete replacement, curb work, traffic control, restoration, AODA compliant installations, etc. Although the municipality has no prior experience with this contractor, we did perform reference checks, and those reference checks all were very good and confirmed their ability that they can deliver the work on time and within the scope and on budget. You'll note in the report that the work is scheduled to start as soon as hopefully council awards the project. We get all the agreements done and everything, and has to be fully completed by October 31st of 2025. It will carry a 12-month warranty period. And again, their submission did indicate that they could complete all that work within that time frame and on that date. So the recommendations in front of council this evening on this report is that council receives report DIO 43 of 2025 regarding the 2025 curb and sidewalk program contract award for information, and that council directs staff to award the tender contract I008 2025 for the 2025 curb and sidewalk program to 2618018 Ontario Inc. OA D-Rock Paving in the amount of $110,000, including HST, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign all necessary documentation. And certainly between Brandon and myself, we're happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Councillor Nerda.
Thank you, Your Worship. Sam, can we get a map of what sidewalks and curbs are supposed to be replaced?
Through your worship to the councillor, yes, that's certainly something we can provide.
Thank you, Sam.
Are you asking for a map of what we're doing this year or all of it?
The map of what will be replaced for the $110,000.
Okay.
Through your worship to the councillor, we can provide both. We have both, so we can provide both.
It would be good to know the big picture with, Deputy Mayor Hodgins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and a question off to our Director of Infrastructure, and Sarah stole one of my questions, which is good. Just a question, were there many tenders on this for sidewalks? Sorry.
They didn't like that question. Somebody didn't like that question. Go ahead, Sam.
Through your worship to the councillor, so following our procurement policy, we posted it online on our bid and go procurement platform. We also sent it to all the local contractors, and we got 2 submissions. We got one from the recommended award D-Rock Paving, and we got another one from Dufferin out of London.
Okay. Any other questions on this? I'm really glad to see us move forward with this project and move forward. We need a mover and a seconder on this. Councillor Keogh, Councillor Nerda, all in favor? Carried. Sam, I have you for one more here in a row, and that is on the water meter replacement program.
Thank you, your worship, and to you and all the members of council. Before you this evening is report DIO 44 of 2025 that informs council of the proposed contract award for the 2025 water meter replacement program and recommends entering into an agreement with Neptune Technology Group, who are partnered with the local folks that we've worked with before, Evans Supply. This project represents the next phase of the municipality's efforts to modernize its water infrastructure and improve billing accuracy by replacing aging water meters with advanced metering technology. The 2025 meter program includes the supply and installation of roughly 250 new residential water meters, along with full project management, data integration, and customer communication services. So this program is a little bit different than the one that we did last year in that we're kind of making it a one-stop shop. So Neptune will do everything from doing the work actually itself to all the data management, integration, customer communications, letters, all that kind of stuff, certainly with municipality support. The request for proposal I002 of 2025 was issued, and it closed on June 26 of 2025. And we did only receive one proposal, but again, it was from a partnership that included Neptune Technology Group and Evans Supply Limited, who was the folks who did our meter program last year. We, as staff, evaluated the submission using the weighted scoring criteria that we included in the RFP, and their submission did meet all the technical and cost criteria that we had included in terms of carrying all the necessary systems and technologies that we wanted, warranties, on-the-ground support through Evans Supply Limited, et cetera. Neptune has extensive experience delivering similar programs across Canada, and they're recently completing work with our neighboring municipality, Lambton Shores there. So if anyone is curious, you're more than welcome to go online and see their stuff. They're doing work just next door there. So the proposed contract amount that we received from Neptune is in the amount of $450,735.93, which includes HST. And I'll note that this number includes a 5% contingency. The approved budget we had for this project that was carried in the 2025 capital was $450,000. So obviously noting that we're over by about $735.93. We as staff are just going to lessen the contingency by that amount. So we just fall within the approved budget. So the recommendations in front of council this evening for this report are as follows: that council receives report DIO 44 of 2025 regarding the 2025 water meter replacement program contract award for information, and that council directs staff to award the proposal contract IO02 2025 for the 2025 water meter replacement program to Neptune Technology Group in the amount of $750,735.93, including HST, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign any and all necessary documentation. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Irwin, you put your hand first.
Thank you, Worship. An associated question with this project through you. Once this project is completed, how close will we be to ending the current billing practice of 3 years averaging on water bills?
Go ahead.
Through your worship to the counselor. So the meters that we're doing this year are all the issue meters that our finance team has found as part of all the billing updates and changes that we've been doing for the past while here. So after that, we think we will have addressed all the issue meters that we've found over the past while. After that, we'll certainly still carry the program forward just to make sure that we're keeping up with replacing our meters as much as we should be. But we still have a lot of stuff to replace. And back to your original question about billing, this won't necessarily help us there. What will help us there is partly why we're doing the survey that we just issued, the water survey. We can't change the way we're billing until we have a lot better and more accurate water meter information, which is what we're trying to gather right now. So certainly staff's hope is that we receive high uptake on the survey that we have posted. If we do, we think we can make a billing change sooner than later. If we don't, then it'll probably just come back to council as a decision, decide as a group what we think we want to do from there. Certainly staff's hope is that if we do get high uptake, we will be able to change from the 3-year averaging to base billing just based on meter sizes, which is certainly why we're trying to collect as much information as we can. So we have those meter sizes and we can do that switch. So it's staff's hope that within the next couple months, one way or the other, it's coming to council of changing it or making the decision to change based on how the survey goes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Deputy Mayor Hodges, do you have a question? No? Go ahead, Counselor Canellison.
Thank you, Mayor Rob. Sam, I don't know if you can answer this question. Perhaps maybe the mayor will have to answer this question. But a couple of years ago, we had an organization here that came in with some specialized water meters that were fairly costly. Is this the same organization? Do either of you know? It is? So are these the same meters?
No. No. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, through your worship to the council, the meters they're using are the same meters we use now.
Okay,
So it's not
Yes.
new meters.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was a recommendation. That was an option that came to us. That was very expensive, but yeah. I do want to just, if there are any questions from council? No, I want to commend staff being that close on your budgeting and that coming through. Kudos for that. It's nice to see that we appear, I'm looking at different reports here, and our budgeting is very close to what the realities are here. And I just want to make comment to that. We have a recommendation in front of us. Moved by Councillor Keo and by Councillor Daigle. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Faisal, I believe you're next, and that is on the Cassidy Road culvert replacement.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, everyone. To the mayor and member of council, before you this evening is report DIO 45 2025 regarding Cassidy Road culvert replacement and repair, IO 03 2025 for information. The Cassidy Road culvert replacement project approved under 2025 capital budget has been awarded to Robinson Farm Drainage Limited through a competitive request for proposal process. The tender was issued to address the structural deterioration of Cassidy Road culvert. The municipality engaged Disparate Associates London Limited to design and specify the comprehensive replacement project, which involves the complete replacement of existing structure and the installation of new 1800 diameter and 32-meter long corrugated steel pipe culvert. The approved 2025 capital budget amount for the Cassidy Road culvert replacement is 260,000. The quote from the Robinson Farm Drainage Limited, including HST, is 153,484, which is well within the available project budget. Recommendation in front of the council this evening are as follows: that council receives the report DIO 45/2025 regarding the Cassidy Road culvert replacement for information, and that council directs staff to proceed with the awarding the project to Robinson Farm Drainage Limited. Brandon, Sam, and myself are happy to answer questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Faisal. Questions? Questions on this? I think everyone knows what culvert we're talking about. This is moved by Councillor Keel, seconded by Deputy Mayor Hodgins. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Faisal, you have another report, and that is on the Park Hill Cemetery drainage improvement.
Thank you, Your Worship. To the Mayor and Member of Council, before you this evening is report DIO 46/2025 regarding Park Hill Cemetery drainage improvements. IO 10/2025 for information. Park Hill Cemetery drainage improvement, a project approved under 2025 capital budget, has been awarded to McCain Ready Mix through a competitive request for proposal process. Based on the ongoing flooding issues and continued residents' complaints, staff engaged our job in engineering to complete the detailed design for construction of stone infrastructure within the Park Hill Cemetery. The approved 2025 capital budget amount for Park Hill Cemetery drainage improvement is 95,000. The quote from McCain Ready Mix, including HST, is 89,683.58, which is well within the available project budget. Recommendation in front of council this evening are as follows: that council receives report DIO 45/2025 regarding the Park Hill Cemetery drainage improvement for information, and that council directs staff to proceed with awarding the project to McCain Ready Mix. Brandon, Sam, and myself are happy to answer questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Faisal. Questions on this? No questions for Faisal on this one either? Boy, you're getting away easy. You have a question or are you moving it? Oh, you have a question? Okay.
Thank you, Your Worship. Faisal, I see at the scope of the work that they may have tree removal. Who's responsible for replacing the trees? Is it the contractor or is it the municipality?
Through your worship to the councillor, that is a conversation we can have with the contractor, but I would say it would be us, and if we do plant trees, it'd be to the place over across McGuffin Hills where donation trees usually go to plant now. That's where we'd probably plant some if we take any down.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay, we have a motion in front of us. Moved by Councillor Nerda, seconded by Councillor Daigle. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Faisal. The next report is from Sam, and that is on the Park Hill wastewater treatment plant enhancement lagoon long-term treatment options update.
Thank you, Your Worship, and to you and all the members of council. Before you this evening is report DIO 47 of 2025 that provides an update on long-term treatment options for the Park Hill wastewater treatment plant, following a review of alternatives to the previously proposed fully mechanical treatment plant. So if you recall the last meeting when I brought the update forward, one of the recommendations was to carry forward services with RVA, who are obviously currently working on the lagoon dredging for us, to look at alternative methods of treatment instead of doing a full new mechanical tertiary treatment plant, which costed, based on their estimates, north of $40 million, which of course prompted staff to look at more cost-effective or other alternatives. So this report, and again, you'll see within that staff have procured RVA Associates Limited, who are currently now undertaking the feasibility study. We have had our kickoff meeting. We have provided them all the background documentation that they've needed. So they are carrying forward with that. What they have noted to us, which is part of what we're looking into, is the EA that was approved for the Park Hill wastewater treatment plant actually recommended that we do what they were calling a retrofit to the existing lagoons. Why the previous design was moved forward the way it was, I can't entirely say. But RVA is moving forward, generally following what the previous EA recommended the municipality do, which was to look at keeping the existing lagoons and looking at a system that utilized them in some capacity in addition to a new tertiary treatment plant. So RVA has been moving that forward. Certainly as staff and with Aqua support, we are working with RVA. We will be scheduling some site visits in the nearby area to go look at some other folks in the area who are using similar technologies to some that we're looking at. Sarnia is an example. So we're hoping to do that soon, and that will be moving forward, of course. And then as I have updates, I'll certainly bring them forward for council's attention. So you're all aware of how the project progresses. So again, you'll note in my report there that the 2025 capital budget that we carried for this included $85,000 for this work. And RVA's proposal totaled $82,151, which included HST. And again, this aligns with the previous direction that we had discussed in the last update that I brought forward. So the recommendations I have in front of council this evening for this report are that council receives report DIO 47 regarding 2025, regarding the Park Hill wastewater treatment plant, Enhanced Lagoon long-term treatment options update for information. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Counselor Cornelison, then Counselor Nerda.
Thank you, Mayor Rob. Sam, how will these changes, these modifications to the recommendations impact on the design that was original to the mechanical plant that we've already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on? Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. And through you to the councillor, what we've agreed with RVA is that because what AECOM had done previously was a full mechanical treatment plant, and we're deviating quite far from that, we have been providing all of AECOM's design to RVA. So we're hopeful that if there's anything that they've designed that we can recycle and reuse in any capacity, we're going to. But because we're going largely from a full mechanical treatment plant to using the lagoons and something else, it's hard to say how much we're going to keep. So we've given them the design. We've told them that if there's any components that they can keep without having to redesign the wheel or recycle or whatever have you, that we will. The other thing I'll note too is that because that design worked off the EA, which already has all the limits set in the way of allowable inflow and outflow and effluent and all that kind of stuff, all the design work that AECOM did in that regard, we can also reuse. So we're reusing as much design work as we can, but there's going to be a good portion of it that likely will not apply because we're deviating away from a full mechanical treatment plant.
So if I heard you correctly, there's those funds that we applied to that design was a lost cause, that there would be no value in a good portion of that.
Through your worship to the councillor, I'd say at this point, depending on how the outcome of this feasibility study goes, that's certainly a high possibility, yes.
Unless, of course, we go back to that design and use that design.
Was the second report I heard today where we spent lots of money for no benefit.
Okay. That was your question as well. Counselor Irwin.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, page 3 of the report talks about increased capacity, immediate gains, which we knew about, of 370 to 400 homes, whatever. But I'm also interested in long-term capacity increases as a potential. So if we exceed that number of additional homes, or we see more industrial activity in our community requiring capacity, can we meet that with this plan going forward, or do we have to do something else?
Through your worship to the councillor. So the 372 homes that are, well, they're calling them ERUs, that will be unlocked through the lagoon desludging. The way our policy reads is that one ERU is equal to one single family home. So when we're allocating through council, obviously one home is equal to one number off that. And then when we go to townhouses and less, the number goes to 0.75 and less. So last year council allocated about 90 off of that 372. So right now, if not including all the severance and minor work that we've done in town, we're sitting at about 290 still ERUs to allocate. What we are working on with RVA is, so we carried three options in the feasibility study. We carried two options as long-term solutions, and then we carried one option as short-term. So the plan is that they're going to look at obviously the two as the long-term, and then one will be if, for example, we do start to run out of capacity quick, what can we do to bridge that gap to get us to the long-term solution? So that's the plan that we're working on with RVA, is to find that stopgap of if we do start to chew this up pretty quickly, what we can do in the interim.
Any other questions on this? Seeing none, we have a recommendation to accept this for information. Councillor Irwin, Deputy Mayor Hodgins, all in favor? Carried. Thanks, Sam. Our next one is from Brandon McLeod, and that is the purchase of a new pickup truck with the dump box.
Through your worship to council. So that this report received regarding the new 1-ton pickup truck with a dump box to replace the 2018 3/4 ton Chevy 2500 currently in the fleet. This report recommends the purchase of a new 1-ton with a dump box for the Public Works Department as approved under the 2024 capital budget. The new 1-ton was tendered on Bid and Go and also included direct outreach to 3 local dealerships. 2 formal quotes were received. The lowest bid was submitted by McDonald Ford Limited at $1,414,492.17, including HST. Slightly over budget of $112,500 approved. The net ST cost is $103,103.74, which is within budget. And to be accounted for, this will be accounted in the variance report in future. Staff is recommending awarding this purchase to McDonald Fords. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, questions for Brandon on this? Councillor Keel?
Sure, I'll throw one in.
Okay.
Brandon, this is just a regular 2-wheel drive, heavy spec truck with a dump box on it.
Through the worship to the councillor, this will be a four-wheel drive F550 1-ton
Diesel.
No, gas. That'd be gas.
Is that what we want?
Yeah. For pricing, it's a lot cheaper to go through
Okay.
gas. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it performs, correct? We'll see how it performs. I mean, this
Okay.
is, no, I'm just saying, this is what's in front of us and we'll see how the gas performs. Any other questions? Seeing no other questions, you have a recommendation in front of you. Moved by Councillor Keel, seconded by Deputy Mayor Hodgins. All in favor? Carried. Our next one is Ashley, it's yours, and that's a report on the cat control service proposal.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. The report you have before you is a proposed pilot project for cat control services. The municipality currently has an established framework for dog control. However, no equivalent program exists for cats. This has created a rather large service gap in our communities for dealing with stray, feral, and pet cats. So in response to this issue and almost daily calls from residents, we were approached by Southwest Animal Clinic. They provided an interest in performing dog control services as well as cat control services. As council is aware, there is a current provider for dog control. They do not provide a service for cats, as staff are aware. So we worked out a service model with this provider to respond to our cat needs. The service model would be based on a retainer, monthly retainer, as well as mileage rate per service call. So a service call essentially means from their home base to North Middlesex. If they were called to another location within North Middlesex, they would not be driving back to base and billing us for that. It would be from location to location in North Middlesex. So the report recommends entering into the proposed agreement for a 1-year pilot project to control stray, feral, cat problem in North Middlesex to address resident concerns, promote animal welfare, and provide safety to our residents. I'm available for any questions.
Questions? Councillor Keough, then Councillor Nerda.
Thank you, Mayor Rupp. At the risk of sounding inhumane, which I am not, but in any way implying anything, more just for general interest's sake, with this increased population of strays and feral cats, has there been an increase in coyote population or sightings in the area?
Through you, I would say that we have received calls about increased coyote sighting in residential areas, and especially with disturbed land with developments. We've seen that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Nerda.
Thank you, Your Worship. Ashley, now, how does this work? Do residents call you? Do they call the service and what happens if your pet gets lumped into the group? Is it euthanized?
Thank you, and through you, Your Worship. Certainly no, your pet is not euthanized. We would operate under a similar model that our dog control contract is. So if your pet is picked up, we would hold them at the shelter for 3 days, try to make contact. At 3 days, it is then not euthanized. Then the service provider does have a contract with a PetSmart in London where animals are adopted out. So that was the first question on that. And then
A follow-up. So have we looked into other alternatives to this versus a trap neuter return program? Because my fear is with this program proposed, it's just going to be a constant cycle of catching all the cats without dealing with the root problem. And it's just going to cause ratepayers $10,000 year after year after year for an infinite amount of time.
sure, and thank you, and through you. That's a very valid concern. We did consider the trap, spay, neuter, release model. However, there isn't a service provider in North Middlesex that I am aware of that was providing that service. There is clinics. However, I felt that this model addresses the public safety element of it, whereas we're removing feral cats from our communities, and those cats are then taken in and helped and then rehomed there if they can be, or euthanized if they need to be. Okay.
Again, that doesn't really get to the root of the problem. It's just we pick all the cats up, more cats move in. Is there any way we could look at that service that you talked about that's not in North Middlesex? This provider is not even in North Middlesex.
Thank you, and through you. This problem, I would say that yes, if council is more interested in that, then for sure we can look at that. I think that responding to residents' inquiry about public safety and property damage is a real concern, and this gives council the opportunity to have a service provider that we are able to immediately utilize and take those cats out. I do think that trap, spay, and neuter and release does bring those cats back to North Middlesex, and I guess it's just what council's wish is with that.
Can I just, as a follow-up, Ashley, I don't believe we're aware of any local service provider that does provide that service either. There isn't, like, it's not just North Middlesex, but I don't believe there is one in Middlesex or surrounding areas either that provides that service that we're aware of. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Thank you, and through you. The only provider that I had come across was through my research. South Huron went through a program such as this, and they used a private vet. However, I would have to look into the specifications for that.
Okay,
Was that,
go ahead.
thank you, Your Worship. Is that something we can do? Because at a cost of $10,000 as a base fee plus mileage, that could add up quite quickly. So is it something that we could do that the municipality has a clinic for the local vet? There is a few in the area that we could hire surely for less than $10,000 plus mileage each year.
If that is council's wish.
You're throwing that out as an option. Okay, I'm gonna pass on. Counselor Irwin.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, I understand we're asked for a one-year pilot and then we'll reevaluate moving forward beyond that. I'm curious, what metrics are we going to use to measure success of this program in that one-year pilot?
Thank you, and through you, Your Worship. So we would do it in similar scope to how we handle our dogs. The contractor would provide invoice on a net 30 basis, and with each invoice, they would determine the level of number of cats, and we would be able to, sit down and reflect on what this has cost us at the end of the year and go from there.
Okay. Counselor Daigle, I think you had your hand up.
Thank you. I received an email today from a resident, and I think everybody received it.
Yep.
And she's obviously gone through and come up with a lot of information. This program that you're proposing is a one-year trial. So is it something that we can cancel early if we decide that it's not working the way we want without paying the whole 10,000? Like, is there a 90-day or some kind of cancellation? Or if another better proposal comes up that we can look at?
Thank you, and through you, the contract does have a cancellation clause. It is 90 days, I believe, but it does have a cancellation. It would just require written notice from each party. This is a one-year contract. If it doesn't work for us, then.
Thank you, Your Worship. And if we do the 1 year and we decide after 5 months or 4 months that it's not working for us, do we still have to pay that full amount or is it prorated?
Thank you, and through you, it's not prorated. It's a monthly retainer plus mileage model.
Listen, this is, in fairness to this report, I know that the clerk gets a lot of calls about feral cats and stray cats. And this is just an option that she's come up with for council to decide and to talk about here and make a decision on here tonight. So you have a recommendation in front of you, and I appreciate all the work that you put into it. I really do, because it's hard to find someone to do this. Councillor Daigle.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept and proceed with this. Now that we know we have the option of terminating if a better program comes forward to us that we can use.
Okay,
So to proceed.
so you're making a motion to proceed with this for a one-year trial. Is there a seconder? Councillor Irwin. Is there more discussion on that? Oh, go ahead.
Now, in the meantime, if we do go ahead with this, I would still like to look into options of more cost effective measures. So we're not paying this year after year. So if that's something we can look into.
Okay. Okay. Any other discussion on this? We have a motion in front of us. In favor? Opposed? One opposed. It is carried. Our next one is Brandon Drew, and that is for the Community Services 2025 Park Hill Fire Station final report.
So Mayor Robb, members of council, this one's an outstanding item to just wrap up here. It's an information report only. As you may recall, we received an invoice back in January, which I promised was the last invoice for this project. This report is just closing out the fire hall project with all the costs. It outlines all the change orders that we went through on the project and basically says how we got there from where we started. So the information's in front of you. I did deliver a report in 2023 at the end of 2023 with the only outstanding part to be the asphalt. The asphalt was completed in May of 2024. From them, we've had our 1 year deficiency. We've cleaned that up. So we are now in the period of the warranty period is over. So I felt it was a good time to deliver the report. So if there's any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Canellis and then Councillor Nerda.
Brendan, I have to ask, who initiated these change orders? Because there's quite a few.
So through the mayor to the councillor, the change orders came from both staff side as well as contractor side. So when we did our cost savings, some of those cost saving measures meant that now there was issues in the design, and when the contractor got to them, they said this part of the design wasn't talked about when you deleted, say, a certain parapet which required an eave extension, so the eave extension wasn't there. Some of the things where we added that second level, such as the window trim, when they designed it, it was just flush concrete. We put window trim around it to protect it. Different rough-ins. There was different things missed from a functional standpoint of the hall that were missed through the design phase. So in order to address them, we had to do a change order because they weren't part of the original contract.
Was Valley not responsible for the design of the structure?
They were.
And so my recollection is that their initial cost estimate was somewhere around 250,000 to do the building, but now I see that it's well over 500,000. So
Correct.
even though they lacked some expertise in the design part of it, they increased their costs because of the lack of experience or efficiency.
So at the very start of the project, when we did the change orders, that increased the cost of the contract with Valley. At the start, we said 250,000. When we sent through the cost changes that we wanted to do, it caused redesign. That took the bill to 301. From there, one of the first things that was mentioned was when we issued the tender for architectural design. At the site meeting, the decision was made by a staff at the time, who is no longer with us, that the project should just have a $40,000 line item for construction administration. That $40,000 line item, as soon as we awarded the contract, we were informed 40,000 is not going to cover this project. Everyone carried the same number to be consistent, and that number became 130,000. So that was a 90,000 increase. So now we're at about 485, 490, and then, or sorry, 395, 400-ish. And then from there, we had obviously the delay caused by the contaminated soils, which therefore compounded the project. And throughout the project, when they were doing more work because of these change orders, those weren't included. So we had to sign off on their time for that. It ballooned drastically, and my recommendation in the future would not be to tender a project the way that was tendered. So
I would agree with you.
I think that there's a lot of lessons learned there going through that project, and yeah, unfortunately, it's the importance of picking good architectural design at the start. So
Great, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Nerda.
Thank you, Worship. I just have one question. We won't receive any more billing for this. It's done. It's completed, correct?
So through the mayor to the councillor, we won't receive any more billing on this project for construction side of it. I mean, there could be a door that has a handle that breaks. We're going to have operational cost of the facility, but certainly the capital cost is done. Anything at this point would be, say, a ballast go on a light or something like a light bulb, those type of things.
Thank you, Brandon.
Councilor Irwin.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, I have no historical context, so I'm just asking a question that some of you might already know the answer to. The initial budget was 6.45 million. Did that include consultant fees and demolition, or were those not included in the original budget? I'm trying to get a handle on how much this overage was.
So through the mayor to the councillor, 6.4 was the initial budgeted for the construction portion. That didn't include architectural design. So the design portion and the consulting portion were separate to that. And then, as you can see in the report, 975,000 of that was due to soil conditions and extended costs. So
Demolition was not in the 6.45, but we did budget for demolition.
that is correct. It was done before the construction project.
Okay, and then the consultant fees are approximately twice of what we budgeted for.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think this is for information, and I think we have received it all right. So we need a motion to. Councilor Keo, were you making that a motion?
No,
Oh, sorry.
no, I had a comment, but it wouldn't be too favorable.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all have many of those comments. We need a motion to take this for information. Councilor Daigle, Councilor Nerda, all in favor, carried. All right. Thank you. The next one is Ells Creek Fire Station RFP.
So Mayor Robb, members of council, The report in front of you for this is for an update to the RFP for the Elsa Craig Fire Station. We tendered the work to do the washroom renovations. We received 5 proposals from contractors and we evaluated them using the county tendering department. Through that, we received the 5 bids received ranged from $168,500 to $316,040. After evaluating the proposals with myself as well as county staff, the top score for the project was K&L Construction, very close over MCI Design Build Corp. The K&L bid was $199,700. The project was budgeted at $200,000. However, of that project, $16,500 was the grant for the lockers. If you remember, we received a grant for that. So the project cost or the budget line for the project would need to be increased by $20,000 in order to accept K&L's bid. And then staff are requesting an additional $20,000 contingency on top of the project for anything unforeseen. One thing that has come up through the tendering of this project is we have no mechanical drawings to show where existing plumbing is in the floor. We're going off of by what people have said they remember it being. So with those unforeseen issues, we would like to carry a contingency on the project as well.
Thank you. Questions? No questions. We have a recommendation in front of us. What's your wish? Moved by Councillor Cornelison, second by Deputy Mayor Hodgins. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, Brandon. Next report, Brandon, that's you once again. That is the live barn camera.
So
HMS insurance.
Yeah. Mayor Ropp, members of council, you may recall in 2023, I brought a report forward for the Stars in order to implement a live streaming service for their games. The Stars have a partnership through their league with NBC Sports Engine that has been running well for them. Minor hockey as well as Asable Valley Hockey Association has come forward requesting live streams for themselves. The live stream provider who works with the OMHA is Live Barn that exists in 256 facilities throughout Ontario currently. Some neighbors, Lucan and Middlesex Center, have this in place already and have had it for a bit now. Staff have evaluated the contract as well as the software being proposed with Live Barn and feel that it's going to meet the needs for both organizations. The other thing with Live Barn is should our skating club or senior girls teams want to utilize this, they can be broadcast on this as well. And it's just a subscription fee to sign up and watch on their thing. The cost for the municipality would be the cost to put up a couple signs letting people know that they are entering an area that is live streamed. And then aside from that, the municipality will receive a 20% share of revenues generated from subscriptions in North Middlesex. So anyone who does subscribe, the municipality would be seeing 20% revenue back to a facility to help offset the loss that the facility currently creates. So if there's any questions on the Live Barn technology, it is the exact same as what exists for the Stars. This one would just be targeted at all our other groups.
Okay, questions? I like the fact that grandparents or parents or whatever could, if they signed up for this program, could watch their kids on the computer if they couldn't go to the game. That's a great option. If there's no questions, you're making a motion to approve? Okay, moved by Councillor Daigle, second by Councillor Nerda. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Brandon. The next one is Felicia, and that is for the first and second quarter update.
Thank you, Mayor. And to Mayor and members of council, in front of you is my report titled DD04 2025, the Economic Development Q1 and Q2 update. So the Economic Development Department's 2025 Q1 and Q2 report outlines key accomplishments in the business support, housing development, tourism promotion, and stakeholder engagement. Highlights include the launch of a formal business visitation program, the introduction of new CIP housing streams, and the successful debut of the North Middlesex Wedding Show. Communication efforts were strengthened through newsletters, social media, and community surveys to keep residents and businesses informed and engaged. And it is the proposed motion that this report be accepted for information.
Questions from council? Councillor Nerda.
Thank you, Your Worship. Felicia, how many businesses have you reached in Q1 and Q2?
For the visitation program,
Yes.
2. Yeah, we started in May. Yes,
Okay.
at the end of May, we started, and we have reached 2 so far.
Okay, and what are you going to do with that data? Are you gonna put it together so council can have a chance to review it?
Yes, I can do that for the end of the year report. And we also are utilizing it to share with businesses our CIP, what the municipality has to offer for small businesses and to update our business directory.
Thank you, Felicia.
Okay, go ahead.
And just to add to Felicia's point on that, we are looking to expand this program. We've talked about different ways to promote them on our socials and just make sure that we're trying to hit 2 a month would be our target. So.
Okay.
Thank you, Brandon.
Any other questions? Councillor Nelson?
Felicia, how many new businesses do we see coming here in 2025?
It's a good question. We have a new business here in town, Winnie's Roadhouse. They just opened up today. They took over the Nico's restaurant spot. And the newest business in Elsa Craig is, I believe, Bundles Creations. And they are like a arts and crafts gifts type of shop. So I don't know if I can give you an exact answer of how many I expect to come, but I can give in the same yearly report how many have came in the year.
Any interest or is there any interest being explored in establishing a business in North Middlesex? Any interest from anyone anywhere?
Through the mayor to the councillor, we have had inquiries. I know one person has come and asked about different spots to do a mini storage, for instance. So one of the things that we're looking to do is work with private landowners, because currently the municipality doesn't own any land where we could say, here's an industrial park option. Here's a land that's been already deemed surplus that meets your zoning requirements. So what we're going to look at is there are certain ag owners just on the outsides of both Elsa Craig and Park Hill, if they would be interested in selling their land, should the right type of business come, what type of business that is. And then when business owners do approach us, someone say for mini storage, would be able to say, you know, here's 2 contacts. We don't mind liaising between the 2 of you to try and bring this to fruition. We've also had somebody who explored opportunities to try and get a storefront for a bakery. Unfortunately, the upstart cost of a bakery is quite expensive. Which is that was probably late winter, which is kind of why we pushed that CIP number up to try and really utilize that business loan, the 4-year interest-free loan. Unfortunately, they haven't come forward with a substantial plan yet, but we certainly we try and track as much as we can, and we're trying to improve the program just so that there is a little bit more formal options for us so that people know who to reach out to, because I know one of the things that's commonly asked is we didn't even know you guys could help us with that. So trying to broadcast and market ourselves
Is it possible to get a list of all the properties the municipality currently owns, all the land, all the properties? Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? We have a report in front of us except for information. Councillor Nerda, Deputy Mayor Hodgins, all in favor? Carried. Felicia, your second report, and that is on the, I can't find it. So, the Canada Day fireworks.
Yes, thank you. And to the mayor and members of council, this report is labeled DD05 of 2025, Canada Day Fireworks Celebration Event. So this event was held on June 30th at Ken Vernon Park. And we continued to foster civic pride and community engagement. The event attracted an estimated 750 attendees from across the municipality and surrounding areas. Its success was made possible through generous support of local sponsors, dedicated volunteers, and strong coordination by municipal staff. There was positive public feedback and media attention highlighted the event's effective planning, inclusive programming, and welcoming atmosphere. So the proposed motion is that council receive this report for information.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Councillor Nerda?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to say it was an excellent turnout, so congrats to staff and all the volunteers. Next year, it would be good if we were accepting donations to go to our local food banks.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, there are recommendation in front of us. Counselor Erda, Counselor Daigle, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, Felicia. Kent, I believe you have the next one, and that is on the Community Services second quarter report.
Thank you, Your Worship. To you and members of council, I'm here to present report DCS 09-2025 for information which contains quarter two highlights from our department. The electrical upgrade project at West Williams has been completed and was utilized last weekend for Mud Creek Festival. The tender for the West Williams roof replacement is planned to be posted next week and will close July 31st. Awarded contractor will be aiming for an early fall completion. Portion of capital work has been completed at both Park Hill and Lurie's Road garages, and more work is planned before the end of the year. The North Middlesex Community Center renovation project continues to be on pace for completion of early September. At HMS Arena, we are awaiting pricing for contractors for a high-efficiency boiler replacement to be installed before heating season. Door access controls will be installed in a number of our facilities in late August, early September. We're currently waiting on a timeline from JPW for this work to be scheduled. In June, we received an updated third-party roof report for all of our facilities. This will help us with our 2025 asset management plan and will provide detailed information on current conditions and costs for repairs or replacements in the coming years. Through a request for proposal, we awarded a one-year preventative maintenance refrigeration contract to Black & McDonald for both the HMS Arena and Nairn Outdoor Ice Rink. We look forward to working with them to ensure our refrigeration plants run safely, efficiently, and are compliant with all TSSA requirements. Elsie Craig Roads Garage will be receiving an LED light retrofit to help decrease energy use and increase light output in the facility. Low bid electrician has been awarded the work and is hopeful to have the work started and completed in August. Finally, in partnership with the Middlesex County Library, we installed a refrigerated water fountain in the Park Hill branch. Both the county and the public have been appreciative of this new installation. Our staff continue to stay busy with outside operations as we hit the peak of the summer. That being said, it is hard to believe we're only a few short weeks away from the start of ice season. Our plan is to start the refrigeration plant on August 12th and our first ice scheduled for August 25th. Brandon, Judy, and myself have gone through the ice allocation and we'll be releasing that shortly. We look forward to balancing both inside and outside operations through this transition and into the fall. With that, I thank you for your time and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thanks, Kent. Questions? Deputy Mayor Hodgins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hope we didn't miss anything here. Just question whether it's under the arena stand repairs. What is a completion window? Or the completion window of okay, that's how I wrote into it. There's two ways of reading it. I just got it. I thought, what is a completion window?
Are you done?
Yes, shut up.
I have a question.
Counselor Irwin.
Thank you, Your Worship, through you, moving on. I'm interested in the last comment made here in terms of the ice allocation. I understand there's increasing interest in our ice and are we able to meet the interest that we have?
Through your worship to the counselor, we're doing our best to provide the ice that people have requested. We gave both the Park Hill Figure Skating Club and the Minor Hockey Association more ice than they had last year. And we also are able to cater to the new A Center, the Asable Valley. I think it's a very delicate balancing act. Brandon, I don't know if you want to go further on that.
Yeah, I'll just add, we had 54.5 hours last year of ice total. We awarded 63 hours this year. We also turned away probably 8.5 hours worth of requests. So we're expecting the mornings to be busy. We're starting at 6 a.m. on Saturdays, which is new for us. That's when figure skating will be on the ice. 7 a.m. on Sundays. Typically we're 8 and 8. We're starting to see later nights, earlier mornings, and it'll probably continue as we get more and more demand because we are turning people away. So
Any other questions from council? Oh, yeah, sorry, Councilor Canellis.
Thank you, Mayor Rob. My question is for you, or Brandon, I guess, doesn't matter. But I noticed that, I guess the roof being replaced at West Williams Hall, which obviously is needed. And I realize that we have financial constraints with the budget and all that. However, there are other things that need to be done at the West Williams Hall as well. Is there any plans to do that in the near future? I know the washroom are things that we've talked about in the past, and some of the exterior could be updated.
So through the mayor to the councillor, I think our approach with that facility is when grants arise, target them. If they're 50-50 share, that's great. If they're 67-33, even better. We do need to address the accessibility of those washrooms in the future, whether that's a 2026 or a 2027 budget item. There are other deficiencies there as well, but the roof got to a point where we couldn't hold any longer. I do want to see that facility's usage across 2 or 3 years before seeing sizable investment unless a grant comes along. So.
Well, thank you. And certainly that's being better utilized now than it has been in quite some time. And it is the jewel of our municipality.
Any other questions on Kent's report? Any other questions? Seeing none, you did kill the questions anyways. We have a motion in front of us to receive for information. Councillor Irwin, Councillor Nerda, all in favor? Carried, thank you. We have one more report, and Carolyn, that is yours, and that's on the sale of land policy.
Thank you, Worship. And before you today, I have a report with regards to our sale of land policy within the municipality. I'm proposing an amendment to it to fulfill an obligation or an initiative, I should say, through the Housing Accelerator Fund. I'm sorry, Housing Accelerator Fund, which we refer to as HAF 2. With that application, we had to complete several initiatives to receive the funding. One of those was to put in initiatives to address the housing needs in our area and across the province to assist with that. And as part of that, obviously, we've been working on an affordable housing initiative with a local group. But as part of that also is to amend our agreements and our policies with regards to the sale of municipal lands in order to address some of the housing shortage needs. So this is an amendment to our existing language, and it's section 12.A of our policy that would be amended to have us at least address, consider, and to ensure that that's taken into consideration when we are looking at the sale of lands for different purposes. And if there's different initiatives that could come forward, that affordable housing is looked at as a possible initiative for us to consider. It's not to say that we must do it that way, but that we would at least look at it on a case-by-case basis. So this amendment to our policy is before you for consideration, and I would answer any questions.
Questions from council on this? Councillor Connellson.
May I go?
Yes.
Thank you. My question is for the CAO, and my question is in regards to the land use sales and whatnot. Have you made any progress on the land in Hungry Hollow that we discussed?
I brought a report to council some time ago about that, about a restricted covenant that's on that property. So I have sent that restricted covenant through to our legal counsel that we are using now through the county to see if there's any way of us continuing to use the land in some other fashion. At this point in time, his initial review of that back to me was not too positive. And so I've asked him to go deeper. That's why I haven't brought anything back to council at this point in time to see if there's any way that a portion of the lands could remain under the restricted covenant, but a portion be reopened. But what's been found so far is that a minimum setback from those areas that were used for the quote unquote landfill in the past, a setback from that would have to be maintained that would make the rest of the property pretty much unusable. It's not good news. So I'm asked him to go deeper and see if there's some deviation that can be found.
The other question I have for you is specifically to affordable housing, and I believe that that the municipality of Strathroy, Caradoc has a policy wherein the new developments would require a portion of their developments to be affordable housing. Do we have a policy such in place as well?
We do not have something of that nature at this point in time, something we can consider in the future. This is something that we're bringing forward today to deal with the sale of municipally owned lands only. But we certainly can look at it at new developments as well. And in requiring that a certain percentage of them be affordable, particularly when we're doing rentals. But we do not have something in place at this time.
Some policy committee could perhaps look at.
Certainly. Is that, if that's the direction of council?
Other questions? Seeing no other questions, we have a recommendation in front of us. Moved by Councillor Daigle, second by Deputy Mayor Hodgins. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. That is the end of our reports, and I would look for a motion to adjourn to reconvene at 6 o'clock with our planning. Councillor Daigle, Councillor Nerda, all in favor? Carried.